This dude not signed, just ask your bosses. The check was in the mail, so I had to toss it. I read contracts with caution, make sure I get all of my dough in large proportions, no losses. That won't cut it. If Bush go to war for this oil, man, imagine what I do for them ducats. Just bring my bucks in 2 armored trucks with 2 dudes in front with an Uzi or something. Dude, you disgusting.
Yo, we back. Official.streetsmarks@gmail.com. That's how you want to contact us. Listen to us at Street Smart Audio at YouTube. Fuck with us. Street Smart fan page at Facebook. Street_Smarks on Twitter. Official.streetsmarks IG. This is Street Smart Audio. July 22nd, 2017. Hollywood and the Foods.
In the building.
Do we have really any big wrestling news this week?
Well, there is a
excuse me.
It was a big announcement. Well, I don't know if it's really an announcement, but a big story that dropped on the 21st, or it might have been before the 21st.
Okay.
Might have been the 20th. Anyway, a story came out that Brock Lesnar not only won't be renewing his contract after WrestleMania 34, but he has also resubmitted himself for a USDA drug testing. So, and he was suspended from the UFC for a year, so he still has some months of
contractual obligations to fulfill,
or aka suspension. So, the earliest he could fight would be is it December?
December of this year.
Yeah. Or December this year. So, he obviously he can't till after WrestleMania because he's under contract. But
so definitely okay. So his contracts run from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. I'm assuming, correct?
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay, so basically he does the job at WrestleMania somewhere and focuses on UFC.
You think they wait till WrestleMania?
Why? You're still paying the guy.
Makes sense.
I mean, so why not get a return on your investment and do some high-profile jobs on the way out?
I know this is going to sound very Markish, and it's probably because I'm still a little bit raw from this Kyrie Irving news.
Oh, what's that about? Yeah, he's traded.
No, he wants to be traded because he's tired of being LeBron's sidekick. He wants to go to a team that will make him the focal point of the offense.
And he's going east.
He has a list of 4 teams that he would prefer to be traded to.
Oh, do you know the teams?
I do.
Please.
New York Knicks,
East.
Miami Heat,
East.
Minnesota Timberwolves, and
East. No, West.
Yeah, and the Spurs, San Antonio Spurs.
Okay, so Kyrie going to the Spurs replaces Tony Parker, who will definitely bow out and retire. Okay, so that continues their dynasty. That's definitely a stable team. Popovich hasn't left, has he?
Mm-mm.
Okay. You said Miami Heat, direct opposition to LeBron every year. So, does he want to be definitely a number 2 guy for the next 2 to 3 years?
I don't see what the problem is, unless he just.
LeBron's making moves to become a front office guy. He's not going. LeBron at this stage in his legacy, for him to be a co-owner of a team, that would be akin to Jordan, which he has done so much more for basketball globally than Mike has, as building it as an international brand. Now, I'm not saying that Mike didn't open the doors for the globalization of the NBA.
NWA.
I'm a smart mark at heart, but I know a little bit about basketball.
He was a horseman.
Yeah, right. LeBron as a horseman. Anyway. The NWO. But yeah, Mike introduced the NBA. Damn it, the NBA to the world. Okay, LeBron has taken that ball and carried it, to the next level. So basketball is more of a global sport than it was 20 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I mean, and you can just see with the plethora of European talent coming in.
Yeah.
I mean that just shows you.
And they can play now.
Oh yeah, definitely. They can play then. Because Arvydas Sabonis was dope. The knee injuries fucked him up. So I can't see LeBron being, co-owner of the Cavs or co-owner of blankety blank or whatever team. He has to be right with Adam Silver. He's going to be, saying H Negro IC. You know what I'm saying? So to speak. That's what I foresee Bron being. Regardless of all that, though, Brock going back to the UFC, it's twofold. It's win-win for everybody. He's done his due diligence as far as doing high-profile matches for Vince, carrying the ball at a top level for at least the last 5 years. He's been that bridge to establish the new cadre of guys. I mean, he's fought the Seths, he's fought the Romans, he's fought the Deans. Whether they jobbed or not, he fought them. Yeah. They were credible going in. Yeah. Now, what they did afterwards, that can be dissected and debated all day long. But Vince had them in a position to where they were believable fighting Brock. So, mission accomplished as far as that. Yeah. Now, are they in the traditional sense over? Are they top guys? Are they money-drawn guys? Are they town-to-town guys? Nah. They're products of the machine. They're probably, I would say, second generation refinement of the machine. The first generation of success was really John Cena, Randy Orton,
yeah, Batista,
that OVW class,
which Brock was in.
Right. But I would say no. Actually, I would give him third generation because OVW, FCW.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no, they're the FCW guys. I'm sorry, they are the FCW guys. Seth, Roman, and Dean. Yeah, they were the FCW guys. So yeah, second generation. The first next class would probably like the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn's. Those would probably be the first NXT class.
Gotcha.
Okay, so yeah, second generation product of Vince and the machine. In the traditional sense, no, they can't make towns. The brand makes the town. You know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right. So, but in the mythos of has Seth, Dean, and Roman, gone up against the monster? Yes, and it has been a success basically. The experiment has been a success overall with the asterisk. I mean, have they been put in positions to succeed as top guys? Yes. That Dean is floundering though. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
There's a heel turn coming. But Seth has carried the ball for about 6-8 months. Roman, despite being bungled around, saying he's still been featured. So
it's so funny you just said a heel turn is coming for Dean, because Seth and Roman just got buddy. Well, Seth, finally officially apologized to Roman and shit for the Shield shit.
I think it's good.
Shit. So it does make sense. Like they'll keep all three of them faces for a minute, and then go ahead and flip Dean. Right.
I mean, I thought initially that they should have explored the Dean heel Roman face dynamic before Seth and Roman were faces and were aligned together. That would have been a little bit more. It'd been a little bit more juicy towards to the eventual story of the Shield. You know what I'm saying? For their eventual return. There's one thing, honestly, when it comes to this whole experiment with these three guys, that's really has failed, and there hasn't been a story. There's been series of matches, and there's been apologies, and there's been promos, and there's been gaga, but there hasn't been a real story. It's like, hey man, look man, the shit I did was fucked up. All right man. Cool. Let's go beat up on this other guy for about 6 months.
Let's beat up on the Misfits.
Right.
The Miz Taraj.
Right.
Shout out to the Miz.
There's no like real reason. Like the initial breakup, it still reverberates to this day.
Yeah.
However, there should have been, when Dean and Seth were feuding initially after the split, there should have been something there that said, okay, we broke up the Shield, but Seth and Dean did this on their own. Okay? But and Dean and Roman fought against the Wyatt family, but it would have meant more if the Wyatt family would have been some shit.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean?
Talk about a waste of.
You see what I'm saying? Like had they overcame that, if it had been a real story behind that, a real juicy story behind that, then you could say, oh, okay, so the eventual Dean split and then the Dean-Roman dynamic would have been more juicier because you would have had callbacks to the Wyatt family feud when they were just brothers in arms. You know what I mean? I understand where they're going with this. Like, everything from the Shield going forward is going to come from the Shield. Okay,
right.
But I think the execution of it is just,
Yeah.
There needs to be marks and moments in this story that people can call back on, that people can reference to when they have these three ways, and when they have these meetups at the Royal Rumble where they're all going to face off at each other and everybody's going to look at each other and the crowd's supposed to go to their fucking feet, a la Rockin' Austin at Royal Rumble 2001. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like Rockin' Austin, we'll go back. Rockin' Austin 2001, they're fighting. Austin's throwing everybody out, doing this fucking great. It was better than the 98 performance, honestly. It's up there with the Ric Flair 92 performance. That 2001 Steve Austin Royal Rumble performance is so fucking underrated as far as the story is concerned, and a self-contained story of the match. It's great. It's so up there with the 92 story. So anyway, Austin's throwing everybody out, blah, blah, blah. Rock comes in, blah, blah, blah. They do their thing, blah, blah, blah. And then Rock and Austin are in opposite corners. And they face off. And then the camera pans on both of their faces. And the crowd all just jump to their feet. Because they know this is the first time Rock and Austin have touched in a while. So they know it's about to be electric. Okay? They tried to mimic that shit on numerous occasions in Royal Rumbles afterwards, and it has failed every time because there aren't those points in the story that people can call back on, that people can care about and be emotionally invested in. And they can say, oh, now I give a damn. Let me get my feet. They did it with Triple H and Cena. They did it with Cena and Orton, And then eventually they're going to do it with the Shield, okay? And if they do not have those bookmark points in the story of the Shield, the crowd response is going to be very tepid, and they're going to go, well, goddamn! Why didn't they're all top guys. Why the hell don't nobody care about these three top guys facing off against each other? Oh man! Ta-da! Put some shit in between the matches, people. That's all I'm saying.
That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all why we give a fuck. And it's so funny you mentioned, because that 2001 Austin and because I thought WrestleMania, so obviously that's the road to WrestleMania. So I say all that to say they almost messed up that storyline by getting Austin's wife to be Rock's manager and stuff.
Right. You don't need that guy. You don't need that bullshit when you had Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. You don't need it.
Shoot, the JR doing the interview. I guess that was, I don't know it, but they brought up Deborah. But when JR interviewed Austin and The Rock, and they were sitting in the same room and stuff, like, you know, they once Stone Cold said, forget Deborah, she's a non-factor. Basically, at WrestleMania, you got something I want, and I'm going to come get it. And Rock was basically, to paraphrase him and stuff, oh, you want what I got? Well, you're more than welcome to try.
And you know what that want was? Not
WWF Championship.
No, motherfucker. Top guy.
And at that time, that was represented by the World Wrestling Federation Championship.
Okay. But you have to understand the double meaning behind the promo. And that's why the shit popped so hard. That's why you had 70 fucking thousand in the Astrodome wanting to see fucking Austin get his title back.
That's why my high and buzzed ass can remember that shit like that stuck in my brain, a freaking interview.
Right. I can't tell you who won an Extreme Rules.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you who was at Extreme Rules.
I don't even know how Brown card we did it last week.
Oh, but speaking of Extreme Rules, so I went to, just a quick story. I went to an Extreme Rules, I'm getting goosebumps because I'll never forget this night. I went to Extreme Rules in Tampa and stuff.
Okay.
And I was still married to my ex-wife at the time, so we there and stuff. So unfortunately, I think Christian won and Miz lost respective titles that night, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Anyway, so the show closed. John Cena come back out to the ring and stuff. The show's over. He get the mic. And he says, basically to the effect, I just want everybody here to know that some covert team, blah, 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 has found something and dispatched of Osama bin Laden. And I can't say whole because a nice chunk of the people was gone already. But everybody that was there just, you know what I'm saying, jumped to their feet and stuff and just started cheering and clapping and shit, man. And like, it's just something I'll never forget.
So you're telling me that WWE had broken news after the show that they had got bin Laden? Or they were getting bin Laden?
No, that we had found and killed his ass. And then it was crazy too, because I guess it had just hit the news or whatever, because this one chick, again, I'm married. This one chick I hadn't talked to in a minute by this point, but she was like, you know how you have that one who got away, quote unquote, just the one, your favorite of all time, but you ain't with them no more. Or you might see, some people might be with their favorite of all time. He raised his glass. It's because his wife listens to the show. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, she had called me while me and my wife was in the car, sitting in motherfucking traffic and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get home. She had called me and stuff, and she called me to tell me that. So
that there's troops that got bin Laden.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so Extreme Rules. But yeah, I can't remember what happened at this last Extreme Rules.
So we're going to take another pause for the cars and get into some wrestling history. Peace.